toxicology. I mean, a whole new area of toxicology, of biomagnification, bioaccumulation, things that we've learned, for instance, over the years about chemicals like DDT, about TCEs, PBEs. We're now coming into a whole new chemical lexicon with this fracking fluid. So we do have a lot to learn. I'm the kind of person that prefers the precautionary principle. I don't want our economy to come to a standstill, but if human lives are at risk, yes, let's let it come to a standstill until we realize, you know, is this going to kill us?
Well, and let me jump in here. This is parallel to the tobacco industry. How many years did the tobacco industry lie to everyone? They didn't lace the tobacco with nicotine. It didn't cause cancer. Is it how many years before it came out on the table in the courts that tobacco caused cancer? How many victims were there? What happened to the asbestos industry? What has happened to different pharmaceutical companies? You know, what I have to laugh is, when you go to a pharmacy and get a prescription, they give you a warning of what those drugs will do to you.
Mm-hmm.
You get nothing from this industry. Nothing. And one more thing I'd like to point out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in litigation with the company that drilled on my property.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, I went to the bank, the local bank
mm-hmm.
in Washington, to get a loan. A year ago, this past April, I could not. I wanted a loan to support my lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I could not get a loan. The banker told me, this is all new to the banking industry. We do not know how it's going to work. He said, I'm going to compare it to the Obama stimulus package. It's all new. We don't know how it's going to work.
Mm.
I've seen the wells in Greene County, in
mm-hmm.
Washington County, the sites, the pipelines. He said, and again, we don't know how it's going to work. And he said, it doesn't matter how many wells are on your property. The bank can't put a value on it because it's a commodity. It goes up and down with the market.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, your farm could be worth, for example, $500,000, but once we appraise it, it might be worth $200,000. And in closing, we don't want it. And my farm's paid for.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay. I said, well, let's do this. I said, factor this into your equation. The properties are also polluted because these pits that they backfill, there's contaminants in these pits, these lined pits, and those
mm-hmm.
pits they leak.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell everyone, visualize a contaminated tea bag.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So did you get, yeah.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
And guess where this is going? Into your water table,
oh,
folks. Yeah. And it's going to be there forever. So, again, they came in here gangbusters, and the government allowed it to happen.
Well, and there's a lot of idle land. Let's just be honest. A lot of idle land. A lot of landowners are looking for either some strip mall developer to buy them out, or they're waiting for for some sort of mineral. I mean, I know people that live around here that are waiting for something to happen. They can't afford to farm their land anymore. It's idle, so it's not doing anything productive for them. And here comes an energy company promising hundreds of thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars, I guess, for the gas. I wish our government could get to the point where that, instead of waiting for, a developer to come and say, I'm going to pay you this much of this to put it into a mall or, gas or coal or something, we're going to pay you to keep it in a pristine state. If we could compete with those companies that way, and I mean, if our government was willing to subsidize land stewardship, let's pay for what you're doing. The state of New York, instead of building a $6 billion water treatment plant, is paying farmers in the Catskill Mountains half of that to protect their watershed so that they get clean, naturally treated water. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just subsidize good land stewardship and give landowners an honest option from things like this?
Sure, exactly.
I know that's a utopic kind of way of looking at things, but wouldn't it be nice?
It'd be great.
No.
It would be great. Is it reality?
No.
No. But another thing that folks need to know, and this came from an individual who worked for New York City and managed their water. 1 gallon of chemicals will pollute 1 million gallon of good water.
Mm.
That's the breakdown.
Mm.
And here's another thing. I loved how the spins that the industry would say, oh, well, the brine water, oh, this is just brine water. We could put this on our roads. We could put on our bridges. It's 6 times or greater saltier than ocean water.
Yeah.
Would you wash your car with ocean water? Let me ask you that. Will you drink it? Do you know what that would do to your steel decking on your bridges? Do you know what that would do to your roads?
and it washes into streams and does everything bad for macroinvertebrates and for the whole food web. Yeah, this is a real problem. I realize that Pennsylvania is one of the states that sort of pioneered the use of this brine to like settle dust on roads during the process of developing roads, and there are some serious ecological side effects, you know, from for putting brine on. This has been documented too.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, you know, it's been published, so it's
again
a serious problem.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
Another thing, the brine tankers. If you go to the well site, you'll see a hazardous placard, but the brine tankers, residual waste. Why do they not have hazardous placards on them?
That's curious, yeah.
And I've talked to a number of these guys.
It should be handled as a toxic substance.
Correct.
It should be.
That's right, because, well, people believe all that's coming out of the ground is just brine water from that salt zone. But no contaminants are coming back up out of the holes, the industry would tell you. None of the frack material, none of the frack, any of the flow back when they frack it, majority of the chemicals stay in the ground.
And the argument is...
And they want people to
The argument
believe
is it's so deep it can't possibly make it back up. I think that's been disproven. I don't know if it's been published in any peer-reviewed journal. I think that's been pretty much misproven, hasn't it?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I would be more than happy to go and get some of that material, that flowback water, and I would like to hand it out to the industry people and let them drink it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
If it's safe, drink it.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you that someone made the remark from the university that's all for this just recently, and a gal would be a witness to this, a number of people will be a witness. He stated in front of a group of people that the flowback water, the frack water, is, you could drink it. It's pure, you could drink it. Now,
Yeah.
what a thing to say.
Yeah, that's a bold statement, to say the least. Ron, thank you so much for your time. We're going to move the show along and let the next. Is this correct, Mitch? We have a musician coming.
Yeah.
Some live music.
Dan Baker.
My good buddy Dan Baker. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Could I say one more thing?
But Ron, please, let's just end on your on your statement here. You get the final word.
Thank you. This is something I read this a long time ago when I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It was on the back of a sweatshirt, and it always stuck in my head. We will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. And we need to be taught what's happening with this Marcellus Shale, each and every one of us, because the truth is not on the table.
Thank you for taking your time for sharing your experience, your point of view, and we respect it very much. Thank you for taking your time, Ron.
Thank you for having me.
All right.